Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports. It is a very special episode of My Mom's Basement. And I know I say that a lot, Clem, but today we're back to nerd news after a long time. We were spending a lot of time in Westeros, and it was a great time with Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but it definitely pulled us away from the nerd news for a little bit. So we're going to recap a bunch of nerd news that's broken over the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of stuff coming up. There's also a lot of stuff that we won't touch on that we've already touched on that's coming up very soon. So I do feel like these nerd news episodes that are just standalone are going to be far and few between potentially based on the upcoming schedule. So it's good to get in here, kind of go to the almost the flagship version of the show. So I like this.
Yeah. Exactly. And apologies. I know we put out an episode Monday of last week and we're here Thursday of this week. It was a long time with no episodes in the basement. But in the meantime, we did put out a Super Critics episode, me and Clemmer, recapping Howard the Duck that came out this morning. Clem, have you seen Howard the Duck?
I saw it at a young age. So that really creeped me out at a very young age. And I saw you guys had the clips and you had the little like pictures of some of the stuff there. I'm like, yeah, that's weird now. So it was really weird when I was like 8.
In the first 5 minutes, you see 2 sets of duck boobies. He's reading Play Duck and you see it there. And then he like crashes through the wall. There's a duck taking a bath and she's got her boobies out. It is the most horny movie you could ever imagine. It's also the first Marvel movie ever made. Technically, that is Marvel movie #1. And it was a George Lucas creation. He didn't write or direct it, but it was like kind of his baby. He got it off the ground. I think he got it funding. Leah Thompson's in it a year after Back to the Future. She's trying to fuck a duck. Please just watch Super Critics. I think it's a good series. Me and Clem are having fun with it. We've been watching a lot of bad movies. Like, let me read you the last couple movies that we've recapped on Super Critics. It's Swamp Thing, Superman 3, Supergirl, Howard the Duck. Next week is Superman 4 with Tommy Smokes. The week after that is Masters of the Universe with Large. Then Dolph Lundgren's Punisher. It's like a crazy 2-month stretch of absolute dog shit. But then on the other end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel, Batman 89, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dick Tracy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Rocketeer, Batman Returns. Like after that, we're on a string of like some of my favorite movies of all time from my childhood.
As someone that remembers when Batman 89 came out, I remember it was like big deal when it was being filmed, but then when it came out and it was obviously a hit, I remember it felt like a big moment for movies or, you know, the genre or whatever you want to say. So, and then I guess all the stuff that rolled in afterwards kind of like cements that. So,
I mean, it had to be the first one in 10 years that just took itself seriously. All of these are like weird, goofy comedies. It's so strange.
Dude, Leah Thompson going from, it's like her agent's like, well, I got good news. You won't be looking to bang your son in this movie like you did in Back to the Future. All right, who am I looking to bang? A goddamn talking duck. Oh,
yeah, the agent probably opened with like, you're going to be in George Lucas's next project. Yeah. And she was like, oh my God, this career just keeps on coming. He's like, it's Howard the Duck. It's like, ooh, that's tough. But check that out. It's on the channel now, Super Critics. It's a very easy watch. They're all 20 minutes, half an hour long. They're very quick. And we also recorded an episode of The Dog Walk that'll be out next week, but we could tease it as, I think, one of our favorite drafts that we've ever done.
I texted you on the side. You're like, that's one of the most, I think I said it was the most delightful thing I've ever recorded here or in general. And then one of the other guests, I won't give away guests, said in a different thread, that was so much fun, boys, can't wait to do it again. So I hope people have as much fun as we did, because I'll tell you, that room, a lot of laughs, a lot of smiles. Like my face was hurting from smiling.
I know it was. And I also put out an interview yesterday with Trick Williams from the WWE. He is kind of the new hot commodity on the main roster. He got called up maybe 2-3 months ago from NXT, and he was the top dog in NXT, and he's just crushing it on the main roster so far. So check that out as well. He walked into the office and literally everyone was like, who's that guy?
He just had, I saw you just posted a picture. Like, that guy, he has it, like whatever it is, aura. Yeah. I'll never forget this, by the way, in the old office, HQ2. I remember in the corner of my eye, I just saw this like person, and it was like they were radiating like an aura off of them. And it was the straight corner of my eye. I don't even have saw it. And I turn around and it was A-Rod. And listen, I do not like Alex Rodriguez. I haven't liked him for a very long time. You can't say the guy doesn't have, he just has it now. It's probably like his tanning bed plus whatever PEDs are still running through his system. But the man has it. This guy has it. Also, Bob, a little, as someone wanted to tell you, and this is a perfect way to say it. I'm back in my wrestling. I'm back in a wrestling. The algorithm, the YouTube algorithm has sucked me back in. I have a bunch of old Kevin Nash interviews I'm listening to. I got Bobby the Brain Heenan, a 2-hour interview. I bought 3 Funko Pops. I bought a Steve Austin, Mankind, and The Rock. So
Nice.
I am deep in this. And then I saw WWE re-released a new version of that. Forgot what they called it.
Oh, the My Sacrifice video?
Yeah, the My Sacrifice video. They basically took, I think, Vince and Benoit, they took a lot of their stuff out. I was like, hey, guys, remember this? This was awesome. And that video still hits so goddamn hard. And I wrote, greatest video ever. Just like a silly thing to tweet, right? Like, whatever. And let me tell you, I got a nice little taste of wrestling to the God.
Well, what about My Way? WrestleMania 17, actually.
Yeah. Yep, I got that. I got the Kid Rock one, which is a great one as well. I got the original version of that video that, had a lot of Benoit and Vince, I guess. So, but this is just nostalgia. I don't think I can ever get into wrestling, but I did buy my son. We have a little local wrestling thing coming to town in a couple weeks. So we got it for his birthday. You knew 2 people. I think
I think 2 people, but one of them was Tito Santana, who's like a special guest ref or something.
Tito Santana was like getting old when I was watching wrestling. I can't imagine what he looks like. That's just gonna be sad. And then
Nunzio.
Nunzio,
I knew. He's a good paisan. We love Nunzio around these parts.
He's gonna be a big hit here because we got a lot of paisans in town.
Yeah, I love that though. I love that. Check out the interview with Trick. And the last thing, basement keeping wise, Pup Punk put out a new single called Jane. It's my favorite Pup Punk song by far. I've been putting up flyers in New York. I've been doing like guerrilla marketing for it. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for the flyers. I put up a bunch of flyers and then Googled, is that legal? I said no, but I was like, it's punk rock. If they hit me with a fine, they hit me with a fine. But it's worth it for Jane. Go stream it wherever you stream music. Type in Jane Pup Punk, and I think it's a really funny song.
You, Bob, I don't want to like give you any like bad ideas here, but if you could somehow post that stuff so you will get a fine, and then the fine comes in.
Punk rock, yeah.
And then it's kind of like with Part of My Take when ESPN tried to cease and desist them because everyone's like, what's this punk all about? They're rebringing the punk back to it all.
Yep.
Barstool Sports. Again, Dave versus the mayor. You get the big fella, making news, and it's like the, Billy Joel's line about, partying with the sinners instead of crying with the saints, and it made him go like triple platinum. You might have to do that for Jane.
Do I have to go even further? Like the ticket, I've gotten a ticket. I posted my Conor McGregor Unreasonable Noise ticket before. Do I have to get a mugshot this time?
Yeah, I think.
I don't think Mama Fox and Lady Fox would appreciate that. Yeah, the mugshot might be pushing it too far right before the wedding. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the wedding.
All right, let's get into some nerd news. The people have been waiting for the nerd news. I figure the first thing we should talk about is the trailer that came out yesterday for Lanterns, because people are pretty fired up about this, but also in a polarizing fashion, of course, with comic books. I think this looks great. It's the new series in the DCU, Lanterns, Kyle Chandler, Aaron Pierre from Rebel Ridge. We're probably getting Guy Gardner in this at some point. They mentioned in the trailer, I'm the only human Lantern. And I took that as like, he disrespects Guy Gardner so much that he's like, I'm not even considering him a Lantern. But they said it's going to be True Detective vibes. That's what Damon Lindelof said from the jump. Like, it's what if we took 2 Green Lanterns and we basically did True Detective over again? And you completely get that from the trailer. The reason it's polarizing is there's a lot of Green Lantern comic fans. I'm really had to struggle not to call them Green Lantern nerds who are saying this doesn't match the tone of the Green Lantern comics that I've been reading. I got a lot of that even just in me quote tweeting the trailer, and I've seen a lot of it since. I don't know what to say to those people because I didn't grow up reading Green Lantern comics. He was always kind of one of those heroes on the fringes for me. Always aware of him, but I was never like a Green Lantern guy. I just thought this looked sick.
Yeah, they nailed the True Detective vibes. I mean, you feel like it instantly, and basically the whole time you're like, is this just True Detective season whatever 6? Lanterns is like the subtitle or whatever it's called. I kind of got like the Penguin vibes, not in terms of like the quality for sure or the story, which could both match it for all I know. But it's like, this feels like a standalone. You don't need to know everything about the lanterns and the whole backstory to enjoy it. Just like with the Penguin, you can talk to someone who's never watched a Batman movie in their life, and they could have just had a hell of a time going through that entire story. And you just see the acting. You're like, oh man, we got some heavy fucking hitters here.
Yeah.
The sheriff. So obviously you have the two lanterns, the big names as the leads. The sheriff, I'm like, I know that sheriff. Lou Allen, the girl from Country for Old Men.
Yeah. And it's also like you said, it's probably a show to bring people that don't know anything about the lanterns in. It's also a show that I think could kick off the intricate, almost Game of Thrones-esque show that you could make with the lanterns. If you eventually go to space with them, you can do the Green Lantern Corps versus the Yellow Lanterns versus the Red Lanterns, and you can separate them and have the factions. I think that's a lot for a new viewer to take in. Like a lot, especially with a character like Green Lantern. And I know we have 2 Green Lanterns in this, but he's not an A-lister. I know a lot of people out there would say, yes, he is. He's in the Justice League. But like, come on, A-listers are the true A-lists. You could call him a B-lister. But in my opinion, Green Lantern ain't A-list.
Bob, don't clip this. Those nerds are going to be coming at you hard.
Maybe I will clip this.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm not ready for Green Lantern Twitter.
Dude, people are even mad about the one shot of the suit. We don't really get to see any powers. Towards the very end of the trailer, we see a little bit of powers, but there's no green whatever comes out of a ring. We see the ring, we see the lantern, both look cool, but we never see a big fucking green boxing glove punch someone in the face in this trailer. I assume we'll build to that in the show, but I think they're also showing like Hal Jordan has aged. They show his suit in the closet. People are like, it's not green enough. It's like, it used to be green. Clearly, this guy's like, I'm one day from retirement. I'm worried about Kyle Chandler whenever someone starts hitting that. But like, even the first scene where he sends Aaron Pierre like off the cliff in the car, and we don't really get to see what happens, but he just like walks up on him. He's like, you could have killed me. Like all of that, like every aspect of this trailer was like, this looks fucking awesome. Even Clemmer, who could be down on a lot of modern superhero things, texted me right away. He's like, I am all in on lanterns. That looks amazing.
I just love having Kyle Chandler with that little glint in his eye. It just feels so good. And hey,
he doesn't age, by the way. No. Past 20 years, he's looked the exact same.
I think he's younger than he was in like Wall Street and Friday Night Lights. I mean, clip this too. Kyle Chandler is in Friday Night Lights, and let's be honest, the TV show is better than the book. Oh, now we got the Friday Night Lights people mad at us.
The book?
Now we got what did I say? The book. Well, the book and the movie. There is a book actually.
Is a book? I didn't know that.
The movie's based on the book, and then the TV show was after the movie. I think.
Yeah,
I'm a TV show guy. The movie's fine. I think the TV show I love the TV show. It had, there was definitely it lost itself. The Landry killed a guy here, but there was a lot of great stuff about the show that I love. Michael B. Jordan has his run, and Kyle Chandler, coach, the moral compass, and Miss Coach. Oh, Julie, I love it all. I'm going to go do a Friday Night Lights rewatch.
I won't clip this. I haven't read the book or seen the movie or seen the show. I'm sorry.
So we're going to just start a running list here on the pod of TV shows you have to watch.
Mm-hmm. And again, The Wire obviously is on
Wires, there. And I was going to say Wire's 1 with a bullet. This will be 2. I don't know how many episodes. I don't think they were like the crazy long 22 episode seasons. It was always, it's like The Wire. Every year they thought it was getting canceled, or it did get canceled, and then it came back. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened with Friday Night Lights. I remember. I think at one point it was just like on like streaming or something. So anyway, very excited about Kyle Chandler being back in our life. And this is like, we have the Aaron Pierre stock. And I feel like this is big, I don't want to say this is the IPO, but this is like, I'm looking for it to jump. I'm looking for some green in my portfolio following this series.
He's going to be a huge star, I think, because he doesn't only have this. He's got Star Wars Starfighter next year, the Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie. He's in that too, with Amy Adams and Mia Goth and Matt Smith. Like, that's like a crazy stacked cast.
Can I be honest for a sec here about that? I still don't think it's happening, that movie, and it could have finished filming. I don't even know.
It did. Yeah. It's wrapped. Yeah.
I've just been like, nope, that's gonna fall apart at the last minute because they did it so many times. Star Wars stuff in my mind is just like fool's gold nonstop.
I'll say this though, I'm wearing the hat right now. I think they're doing a much better job promoting the Mandalorian and Grogu. I saw the Empire magazine spread. I see the merch is for sale. I got one of the Lego sets, a little speeder. I'm seeing things in the public. I'm seeing things on the top of cabs and advertisements, whatever. I'm seeing things now. So maybe they listen to My Mom's Basement and put a little pep in their step. Like, respect. I complained, and now I'm like, you're doing a good job.
The people at Disney, when they came out and said they were surprised that people were not happy with the reaction to the Super Bowl, was like, you guys gave us nothing. And listen, we said it during the pod. You give us like the fun little like wink and nod, and I appreciate that as like not only a Super Bowl fan, but a Super Bowl commercial fan, historian of the whole, extravaganza that is the Super Bowl. I appreciate they kind of like did the wink and the nod, but it's also like we're also fucking love the movies too. We want to see a little bit of the movie. They could have just given us that at some point, either during that ad, another time, and they gave us nothing. So I don't know how
it could have been so simple, dude. They could have put full trailer coming and then the date at the end of that Super Bowl spot, and it would not have been as panned, I don't think. I think people would have been like, all right, that's disappointing that we didn't get it here, but at least we know the trailer's coming out, the next week. It was very shortly afterwards. If they just put that there, it would have been like, all right, stay tuned. We're getting a trailer. And when they put the trailer out, everyone was like, this looks fucking cool. Sigourney Weaver in Star Wars. We've got Rada the Hutt, this jacked fucking son of Jabba on a giant Dejarik board. There's like so much cool in the trailer. They should have just ran with that.
And now my boy Bob has the hat on, and he is ready to give as much slop. It's the mouth. Open the mouth, Bob. Open the mouth up. Let him start shoveling it in. At least you have those guys on your side. And listen, I think everyone's very excited about Mandalorian and Grogu, but I was like, guys, you can't fuck this one up. Starfighter at this point, I guess it's wrapped. So hey, I'm marking it now. March 5th. I'm excited that this movie's coming out now. I'm officially get excited about it.
I feel like I'm still hearing almost more about Starfighter than I am the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right?
But today there's a lot of quotes out. Today we learned Dave Filoni's the official second unit director, which is good. I like that. And we learned that they're calling it, we didn't learn this, they're calling it a celebration of these two characters. They're like, this movie is an absolute celebration of the Mandalorian and Grogu, and we're bringing Star Wars back to the big screen. Like, they're hyping it now. So I like that. I like to hear all of those things, but I'm still hearing like Sean Levy's Star Wars is bringing the fun back to the franchise, and Ryan Gosling did it because of this, and he was anti-franchise, but this spun him or whatever. So there's a lot in both directions. Hopefully they're both just fucking great, and we're all the way back on Star Wars.
Yeah, I have a take here. I don't know if this is a take that has been echoed, or I think we've kind of like alluded to, like, we question, where the direction is. I feel like this is just going to be the end of Mando and Baby Yo for like maybe ever.
I don't know though.
If
this movie makes $1 billion.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
They ain't doing anything with Grogu for the next 10 years. He ain't going anywhere. I don't think you're going to be seeing him.
He's not going anywhere. It's just with Pedro, and I think it's
that's true.
So. But if it's just,
but in my mind, I'm still thinking this isn't the like Avengers or whatever. I think there's still a movie that's in development, hell or whatever, where they're saying it'll be Mando and Ahsoka and Boba Fett and Ezra, and they're all going after Thrawn, and it's like a big heir to the Empire. Dave Filoni directed. I still think they're gonna like at least put all the figures back in the bin and not get rid of them. So once they could do the Avengers thing, they're gonna do it.
And that would be very cool if and when.
Yeah,
I that got me hyped.
Skeleton Crew, get little fucking Neil next to the Mandalorian.
But are we saying it's done as a TV show? I feel like once you hit the movie,
it's hard to go back.
And then your lead is also like in 17 different franchises as a very big part of all those franchises, right?
And if it is done as a TV show, I know season 3 was not what we necessarily wanted it to be. It had its highlights, but it was not nearly as strong as season 1 and 2. I did think the actual ending of season 3 was very good, in like the Mandalorian and Grogu going off to their hut, it being sort of peaceful, like Grogu floating a frog or whatever. Like, that did feel like it had finality about it. And I knew we would get him back, but like, if that's the end of the TV show, I think that's a cool way to tie the ribbon on it.
Hey, what Mandalorian did for Star Wars, I don't think you can really discount, because it was a tough time, and it was kind of the one thing they could point to until they had like the Andors of the world come in and be like, all right, it's not a complete disaster here.
I mean, is there anything in the sequel trilogy? I'm the biggest sequel trilogy defender out there. Is there anything in the sequel trilogy that people know as much as This Is the Way and I Have Spoken?
Yeah. Yeah. And
like both of those are just like, I think my mom knows those quotes from seeing them in JCPenney shirts, or like everyone knows that.
JCPenney shirts, perfect way to sum it up.
With
the JCPenney shirt level of like fame.
Yeah.
That was how it's, and Baby
There's no JCPenney General Huck shirts. We also did a pretty long segment at this point, months ago, about Netflix buying Warner Brothers and acquiring Warner Brothers, what that means. Are things going to go straight to Netflix? No theatrical window, blah, blah, blah. We talked a lot about it. It turns out we wasted our time because Netflix is not buying Warner Brothers. Paramount is now buying Warner Brothers. They upped the bid, so they're getting all that stuff we talked about before, the massive Warner Brothers franchises. Paramount says, I believe, each studio is going to put out something like 15 movies a year, and they're going to try to keep a 30 to 45 day theatrical window. I think they said 45, which I really like. I feel like that's a month and a half is good for, just theaters. I mean, the new 28 Years Later, the Bone Temple. I wanted to see that 3 weeks after it came out. It was out of theaters by me, like 3 weeks after it came out. So let's make sure we keep things in theaters 45 days. But yeah, we don't really know what this means for James Gunn either. Everyone's still saying that, where it's like mergers always mean new leadership and whatnot. Let's hope nobody touches James Gunn. Just leave DC in their own corner right now, because we just, even like as James Gunn fans, I know we're inclined to just be like, stick with him, but we're just not in a phase where we could do a reboot of any sort at this point. You could tell me Christopher Nolan's going to take over for James Gunn, and I'd be like, no, not right now.
Yeah, you guys got to wait 5 years before.
Yes.
Like at this point, even if you just release nothing, just don't reboot it again. You can't reboot the reboot. It's when you keep re-recording over I guess at this point, tape at some point, it loses traction or whatever.
I think about when I'm back in school, when I did a math problem and then he erased it and then did it again and he erased it. And by the end, the paper is, even thinner. You're like hitting an erase and you're going right through it. And
let's be honest, like the other side of it too, we talked about Thrones, like they have all this momentum and now that's part of this as well. And they say they're saying all the right things in terms of like the quotes of they're not going to mess with HBO and their success, but you just never know. I went through fucking corporate changes and all the jobs I had before Barstool, and everyone says the same thing. No, nothing's going to change. And then things do change, and sometimes for the better, sometimes not. And it's just worrisome. But listen, this is the other thing. I don't hear anyone fucking complain, because all I heard was complaining when Netflix was going to buy them. So like, once Warner was being sold, someone had to buy them. And I guess the only other option would have been like a big company that would not have been a merger, and it would have been its own standalone thing. But that clearly wasn't going to happen. The corporate takeover and all the succession stuff we were joking about, I was like, this is so ridiculous. Nothing's going to come of this, and Netflix is just going to get. And they just stared them down. I don't even know what happened. I'm like, did they just like keep putting in new offer, like an eBay auction where you just keep hitting?
They were going back and forth,
and they just kept doing it. And it but every time they hit like new bid, it like seemed to like extend the date like 30 days, and they just kept doing it. And Netflix was like, listen, we don't want to deal with this shit anymore. It was fascinating for someone with no actual intel of what was going on. I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And one day it was like, no, we just have it. Netflix is like, all right, we're out of here. We got like $2 billion for our, 2.7 was the number, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
And then like, if anything goes wrong with these companies down the road, Netflix will then have that money to potentially acquire. Yeah. Like there is a point where Netflix might just acquire like the entire world, let alone all of Hollywood. So we'll see when it comes to that. And
we're all going to be on the Truman Show eventually.
Yes, they can still acquire the basement. We could be the fourth Barstool podcast down there. We've made our what's our price?
Paramount could as well. If Paramount wants to outbid Netflix, for the
basement,
we're willing to hear all offers.
Netflix,
what's our price tag?
2.7 billion.
I could say $1 million a year for each of us.
$1 million a year for each of us. All right.
Yeah.
Your move.
And then we have all access to their private jets. All of them.
I thought you were gonna say like their content. No. Private jets is where Bob's thinking right now. Okay. I'm in.
It does make me think we've been very lucky at Barstool. Obviously, like there was the churning thing, which I came on post churning, then like Penn, and then back to Dave. But like the biggest difference for at least like you and me was we had to abide by gambling guidelines more strictly under Penn. Like not much actually did change for us, which makes me very grateful.
Oh yeah. And then again, the best thing about having Dave in charge, it's like that guy's crazier than anybody here. So it's like you gotta don't.
I want him leading the ship.
Yeah.
Speaking of Game of Thrones and what this means for Game of Thrones, we learned this week that there is a Game of Thrones movie in development, which it's been rumored for probably since Game of Thrones has been on like season 3. Like they might do a movie one day. They might do a movie. But now they're saying it's actually happening with Bo Willimon writing it. I'm probably butchering his name. You should know who this guy is, and I should know who this guy is, because he wrote some of the greatest episodes of Andor and therefore television we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Putting a guy like this who wrote, you said The Prison Break and Gorman, right? He wrote both of those episodes. I mean, those are the 2 best episodes of Andor, 2 of the greatest pieces of Star Wars content we've gotten since the original trilogy. I trust this guy with anything. I trust him with my firstborn. I'll name my firstborn fucking Bo after this guy. So I'm excited. It is about Aegon's Conquest, and Brendan Clancy, our expert around these parts, told us it's pretty much just him incinerating a bunch of places, and I don't know how to make a movie about that, but I'm sure they'll make it work.
They made it work where like they never showed the Emperor, right? They never did any of this shit. They never really showed the full breadth. Like that. That's our SAT where they the breadth of the Empire and their power and everything, but kind of just from like the ground level, I guess the micro level, if you may, maybe macro. We can talk about both another SAT
macro, micro.
I went to college. I'm trying to impress the people of Paramount right now in Netflix. I'm trying to get this bidding war up by using fancy words. This is like something the Ringer would have. They'd have people using words like this, so we're gonna try to step it up. But yeah, man. This is, you want to know the best thing about getting this Andor writer in? It is now caused the Game of Thrones review bombers to not review bomb Andor. He's it's now like, a friend.
He's on our team. Yeah.
It's just like in Thrones when you marry into another great family. It's about creating alliances. Andor
even if they're bastards. Yeah, now you're my bastard.
I'll tell you, everyone who's review bombing is a bastard in my mind.
I know. Ozymandias is down to like a 3.7 at this point or something. It's insane.
It's worse than the last episode of Thrones at this point.
By the way, did you see the kid that plays Egg, Dexter, Ansel or whatever today, dressed as Egg to go to World Book Day at school?
I did not.
Go on my Twitter right now. I quote tweeted this.
Live reaction.
This kid is so friggin' cute. I'm like, this kid's going to grow up one day and find out that the world is an evil place. That's how cute this kid is, that I think thoughts like that when I see he dressed as himself to go to school. He's like, oh, he's holding his Knight of the Seven Kingdoms book. He's probably telling all his friends, like, this kid's the most friggin' adorable kid on the planet right now.
Dude, the first picture of him is just him like smiling. And it's like kind of just a kid on his way to school smiling. Like,
he's got a lunchbox with him.
It's like a kind of awkward, and it's like, oh yeah, this is like a little kid. He just seems so much wiser than his years. It's like a young Bob Fox coming into bars with all his idiots. Like,
I'll take that. That's a good comparison for me. Egg is egg. That's like I aspire to be an Egg type.
That's awesome. I mean, that's such a fucking like move. Just to
flex.
Willy Wonka thought he had the day. It's like, no, the kid that dressed up as himself in the hit HBO show that is being known to save the biggest franchise like in the universe at this point.
Just imagine being the costuming department and you get like an email from his mom or something like, can we borrow a costume? He'd like to wear it to school one day. I'd be like, oh, you could have all the costumes, buddy.
The fact his name is Dexter throws me off too. Like I've never met. I thought like it's almost like a Pokemon where you have to have like grow into becoming a Dexter. You're not born a Charmander. Did I say that right? Is Charmander? No, Charmander's the little one, isn't it?
I think he is the first one.
Charizard. I said Charizard. You're not born a Charizard. You're born a Charm. Like Dexter, like Danny should be like a little one. Then Daniel, then Dexter. Once you hit like your 20s, you become a Dexter. It's so weird that this little cute kid is a Dexter.
There's only 2 Dexters that I could think of, and it's the serial killer from the show Dexter, and then it's Dexter's Laboratory, and who's like a super genius. He's a kid, but basically an adult, right? Like so, like weird. Imagine looking at a baby and naming it something like that. I think about that with names sometimes. Like people used to look at babies, and I'm sure they still do sometimes, but they would be like, "Your name is Dolores," and it's like, "That's what you're naming a baby?"
Goddamn baby.
They'll grow into that name. It'll be fine when they get older, but for babies.
It changes the entire trajectory of your life too. You know, like if you were, my sister was supposed to be an Amanda, and she came out and she was in Nicole, and like, what is Amanda? I have no clue what she.
Dude, there's a UFC fighter just had a fight this past Saturday. His last name is Pinas, and we were all saying that had to make him a fighter. He's in the UFC because he had to grow up with a last name like that.
Yep. coming out of the womb, arms up, just ready to fight.
Yeah, ready to go. So funny. A trailer that came out a couple weeks ago that we didn't get to talk about on this show that I'm really excited about is the Spider-Noir show from Amazon Prime. This is a Lord and Miller production who did the Spider-Verse movies, the Lego movies, 21 Jump Street movies. And it's Nicolas Cage reprising his role from Into the Spider-Verse. I don't know if it'll be like connected. I think he's just playing the character in a different setting here. I don't know if they'll reference stuff that he did with Peter Porker or whatever. But I think this looks fucking sweet. It comes out on Prime May 27th. There's some cool swinging in the first trailer. There's some cool just Sam Raimi type shots where they're doing eyeballs through little pinholes and like weird transitions. It reminds me of this Sam Raimi stuff that he did with the Toby trilogy. And they're putting it out. I think this is a little cowardly, Clem, in black and white and color. I don't like that. I don't even like giving people the color option. And I know why they're doing it, but like do that months after the series comes out. I know with like Godzilla -1, they put out the movie and then a few months later, they put it out in black and white. I think that's kind of cool. If you do, all right, we're going to do a colorized version later. You're a coward if you watch this in color. This is a black and white show.
That should almost be like when you would get the DVD and get like the bonus scenes or the director's cut. The colored version comes out, I guess, on the same streaming service just a few months later in this scenario. Nonetheless, so I'm with you, Bob. This is the only thing though. And I've been like, you guys, like the Spider-Noir people are hyped. I do not dislike Nicolas Cage. I just don't seek out his stuff usually. I like a lot of his stuff. And I do, he's almost like, he's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Not nuclear. He's like a radioactive, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting with Nick Cage. And I do feel with him in a very different Spider-Man version of Spider-Man, I'm not like, oh, this is at least a double. This can go a lot of different ways in my mind. Is that fair to say? Assuming
100% fair to say.
A lot of Nick Cage. Okay.
I think and I like Nick Cage. I'm a Nick Cage guy, but I've seen a lot of Nick Cage movies where I'm like, that's dog shit, and I don't like it. What excites me about this, and I've said this on the show before, I think, Nicolas Cage just a few years ago said he never watched TV. Like he's always watching movies, constantly putting on old movies. But he's like, I just never like wanted to dive into a TV show until his son told him, watch Breaking Bad. And he said he watched Breaking Bad in like a sitting and was like, oh my God, it was the greatest piece of art I've ever seen. And he really wanted to sink his teeth into a television show. And this is, I believe, the first show that he's doing since he said that. So I'm like, in his mind, he's diving in being like, I just watched Breaking Bad and I want to make something that good. And he's signing up for this. He could be signing up for the paycheck. I know he's had tax issues and whatever. They joke about that in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where he plays himself. Very funny movie. But also Lord and Miller. Lord and Miller very rarely have let me down. Now, they were originally the directors of Solo before Ron Howard took over. And it's not my favorite movie, but who knows what their version would have looked like. I do have a lot of faith in this. I think this is going to be really cool. And it's also maybe going through rights issues. I don't know how Sony's playing this because obviously they own Spider-Man and all the characters, but he will not be called Spider-Man in the show. He will be called the Spider, and he will not be Peter Parker in this show. He will be the Ben Reilly version of Spider-Man, who I believe was the Scarlet Spider for a while. But that made everyone like kind of put their ears up like, is this like a rights issue or is this a Sony just being like, let's not confuse people?
It's like when Barry Bonds was John Dowd in MVP Baseball 2005. Michael Jordan was player 99 or whatever it was in NBA Live. You're just kind of getting the spider.
You're like, we know who we're looking at. Come on.
I thought when I heard them say Ben in the trailer, I thought it was Uncle Ben. I'm like, Uncle Ben became a Spider-Man in one of these? I kind of dug that.
Like a multiverse what if thing. I'm sure that's happened, right? Like Uncle Ben loses his nephew and becomes Spider-Man.
What if Uncle Ben became?
If that hasn't happened, trademark Robbie and Clem. We're doing that for Marvel next year.
Do you? If Uncle Ben became Spider-Man, does little scrawny Peter Parker be the one who dies at some point?
Yes, I think definitely.
Has to, right?
Uncle Ben let's see if this happened. Becomes Spider-Man.
Had to be a what if.
Of course it's happened. Of course. It's on Earth 3145. Benjamin Parker, better known as Spider-Man.
Now we have the Spider-Man nerds at us. Like, how did you forget Earth 3145, guys?
Yeah, I know Jose probably in his mind. If Jose's listening to this, he's like, these idiots got to get me back on it. I could have told them 3145.
So I'm going to go to Twitter and he's unfollowed me. It's like, fuck. We didn't even release the podcast yet. He just had his spider senses. Like,
the spider senses went off. Yeah.
Which wasn't a what if, though, huh?
Not a what if. I don't think so. It was just an alternate universe, it says. You see an alternate version of Benjamin Parker, who was bitten by the spider instead of Peter Parker. Not much about him, though, if I'm being honest. I'm looking at it right now. Believe his first appearance was, it's the first appearance of Uncle Ben in the first place. Spider-Man 1. Yeah. Spider-Verse Volume 1. So it was in a Spider-Verse comic, which I guess is bordering on what if.
Gotcha. Yep. Did you see this? As a mature hero, he immediately uses powers for good, but this leads to tragedy when the Emerald Elf, who is the new name of the Green Goblin, it's Emerald Elf, the Green Goblin.
That's funny.
Discovers his identity and murders Aunt May and Peter. They both go. We lose them both.
Wow. Listen, I know people are down on the multiverse right now, but there is something from my childhood. I actually thought about this movie this week. There was a Scooby-Doo movie. It was called like Cyber Chase or something. Early Scooby, like not early, but for me, it was like 2000 or 2001. I was 2 or 3. And Scooby and the gang go into a video game and they like meet the alternate versions of themselves. I feel like the moment I saw that, I was like, I'm a multiverse guy. I just love any story where people go and meet another version of themselves. Like, it's why I like this Netflix show Dark so much. You see a little bit of that. It's like a German Netflix show.
I heard that's awesome.
Unbelievable, Clem. But it's like, since it's in German and you're dealing with multiple timelines, phones down the entire time, and you almost have to pull up charts of like, all right, that person's playing themselves in the 80s. Now we're going to go see them in the 50s. Now we're going to go see them in modern day. So there's 3 people playing every actor. So it's just like, it's a mind fuck, but it's so worth it. I would highly recommend it to anyone that is even slightly interested in sci-fi stories like that. But yeah, going back to this, I think just seeing an alternate version of Spider-Man that we got a little tease of in Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, and I loved them there. I think I'm just excited to see what this could be.
I'm excited to see how they pull it off for sure. I also still can't believe that I think it was Nick Cage was like the bad influence on Charlie Sheen for a lot of those years, right?
Right. In the doc, they said that. Yeah.
I forget that Nick Cage had that like period of his life where he was like, he might have been crazier than Charlie Sheen was, it sounds.
Yeah. Like. I think he was hanging out with like Vince Neil from Motley Crue too. Like there's some video from years ago of the 2 of them in Vegas together. And I'm like, they should be set. They should be president and vice president. Can't be on the same plane. Like Vince Neil and Nick Cage shouldn't be allowed in the same nightclub.
So I'm excited. And this is the biggest, I'm excited for like the Spider-Man people getting this.
Yes.
The first Into the Spider-Verse is the first one. Like,
yes,
that was just so fun right off the bat. So anything that comes out of that,
honestly, it's a great time to be a Spider-Man fan. You get those 2 movies. I know that Beyond is delayed till fucking 2058 or whatever it is, but we've got a new Spider-Man movie coming out this year, which we should get a trailer for. I want to say like any day at this point. Like they're waiting a crazy amount of time. We have a Spider-Man movie coming out this summer. Start promoting that as well. But the Spider-Man cartoon, even, the Spider-Man cartoon, fantastic.
Did you ever finish it?
Yeah, I started doing it on my commutes. It became a commute thing because now my commute's like 38 minutes on the train. So I'm able to go on Disney Plus and I've been downloading Clone Wars episodes now. It's awesome. I feel like such a kid. I'm on the train. I'm like trying to make sure people aren't seeing the Clone Wars episodes I'm watching.
That was like me watching Game of Thrones, except I was looking for other people not to see what I was watching in Game of Thrones back in the day when I was commuting.
Just a little embarrassment on my end. We got a trailer for The Boys. Just came out today. The final season of The Boys premieres April 8th, I believe. Invincible is March 18th, so that's also coming up. The Boys' final season. We've talked about it a lot in terms of like, they better nail this. They better not lean too much into the real life stuff because I know that's what the show is, but reminding us of what this current climate is and putting it in that sometimes is a bit much. They're definitely doing a lot of that in this trailer.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing Homelander in the Oval Office and we're seeing armed guards, whatever they may be, police. It seems like ICE, like taking people off streets in the trailer. The stuff about the trailer that made me excited was like the him and Soldier Boy stuff. Like I want more of that. Lean into him and his dad looking for fucking the original Compound V, which they describe like the original Four Loko formula. They're like, if he gets this, he's invincible. Like that stuff I love. And again, part of what has made The Boys work so much is the little real life things that sometimes it seems like they're predicting what the world is, like the Simpsons style.
Yep.
But you do too much of that, and it definitely just like reminds me. It's less of an escape for me. And it reminds me like, oh yeah, things are rough right now, huh?
I could just turn on the news networks and get all these kind of like takes and updates. Yeah, I don't need that from my boys. I will say this again, because this does come out. They will be running parallel to Invincible for a little bit, just because that comes out around the same time. I saw the Homelander actor say like they're taking it to extremes, and I don't know if that meant gore. I'm like, I can't do whatever Invincible gives me for like 4 weeks, and then followed by the absolute nonsense. So we've had a dick, like going up a dick, right? We've had the explosion, the ass explosion, people coming out of like not coming out of asses, walking out of asses. There's a lot of, and I'm like, I don't know if I have it in me right now. The stomach to deal with that. I just want. I mean, The Boys, those first few seasons, man, they were cooking. They were on fire.
It's honestly like, to make a WWE reference, in the Attitude Era, everyone was blading way too much. It eventually got to a point, kind of post-Attitude Era, even Ruthless Aggression Era, where there's matches on Monday Night Raw between two guys that barely even have a rivalry, and they both blade and cut themselves open. And it eventually like made it less meaningful, of course. People are just bleeding in every match. The Boys has definitely gotten to that level, because I just watched Ready or Not. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Ready or Not. It's like kind of a horror thriller type thing. It's very good. I like it. And there's a sequel coming out this month. So I said to Lady Fox, oh, we should watch this. It's a good movie. She hadn't seen it. And there's just a scene in it where this like bride character is squeezing through a fence and it's slicing her back a little bit. There's like a poke. And I was actually thinking of The Boys during the scene, because the two of us are wincing as this thing's just cutting her back with one little thing. And The Boys has reached the point where people's intestines are spilling out. And I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing that. Like I don't even wince anymore. So they've definitely gone a little too far in that direction, I think.
And it's like, all right, now who has powers? Now I also like, so, what's his name? Butcher has powers now, and different.
I kind of like his, if you can't beat him, join him. And then
that was
like
a good
line in the trailer. I was like, that's a good line.
I also realized I need to do like a full catch me up and remember what's happened. Figuring anything from Gen V that might be going on as well. Definitely need to catch up before hopefully they release it on Amazon or whatever, even a 5-10 minute, just like, oh yeah, this is what happened and this is where we left you guys off. Cause I feel like they're going to hit the ground running on this one too. Mm-hmm. But like you said, as long as the politics stuff isn't too heavy handed, I didn't know if it was.
And I'm saying that as a person, like also who's like, if you know me, you know, my politics agree with the politics of The Boys. I'm not saying that in a negative way like that. It's just like, I don't want to be reminded of that all the time.
I don't want to see shows, because then when it's down the road and you buy the box set of The Boys, it's like, you could definitely be like, this was a show that and hey, if that's what the producers, directors want to do, that's what it is. It's like, again, can't get mad about a show once it's done. That's just what they decided to do.
Did you watch, speaking of like the recaps, like the season-long recap or whatever, did you watch the new season of Paradise yet? Are you into that? I know you watched the first season.
So we got like 4 or 5 episodes into the first season, took a break, and then lost it. And
gotcha.
I've seen all the tweets about it since, and we have now put a pin in that one for, I think, good, based on
season 2 has not been good so far. But they did such a strange thing. They didn't give you a season 1 recap for the first episode of season 2, but they did it for the rest. So
really?
Like the season 1 recap is episode 2 of season 2, because episode 1 they kind of do like a spin-off thing, like they're introducing a new character, so it doesn't really relate to season 1 much. But we were both like, me and Lady Fox looked at each other, like, we're gonna have to look up a season 1 recapper because we forget all this. And then episode 2 had it. Kind of weird, but yeah, I wouldn't give the highest of recommendations to Paradise season 2 so far. It's been a little, and I felt that going in, like season 1 ended and I was like, they're not going to be able to make a good season 2 of that one. And it was I really liked the first season, but it was just like clear with the ending of episode 8 or whatever it was that like, I don't think they've planned any further in advance than this.
They box themselves in, which happens sometimes. You don't know a show's going to be. I mean, just think about all the shows that don't make it to a season 2, right? So
exactly,
you got to be a little more cognizant of that. But yeah, we went into it, and KFC was a big proponent of it as well. But I think even he said like, I'll fully admit there are some like hits, and then there's some misses in terms of episodes and
it's weird
storylines and stuff.
It's a weird show. Like I think 90% of the episodes are very good or good, and then they have 2 episodes that are like next level. This is premiere, awesome. Sit down and put your phone down television, but like they have not reached those heights other than 2 episodes.
What a little tangent here for you, Bob. What TV show do you think will be the best of 2026? So we have Invincible, we have The Boys, we have Daredevil, we have Lanterns, we have Spider-Noir. No Star Wars stuff, right?
We might get Ahsoka towards the end of the year. That's they wrapped filming season 2 a while ago, so I think we probably will get Ahsoka.
Throw Ahsoka in there, why not?
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to choose Ahsoka.
No, I like season 1, but it's not. Yeah, it's not on that level. Honestly, I would probably say Daredevil. I think I'm probably going to like Daredevil the best. If season 1 was any indicator, and everyone involved in this is like season 2 is even better than that, I think it might be that for me.
Yeah, no, I think it's Daredevil with a chance of Lanterns, because they get to kind of play with that clean slate, and I did like the trailer a lot. It's kind of, it just bums me out that I feel like The Boys' final season should be the best. Like, we're gonna really just, they're gonna probably just knock everything down. Everything will be resolved in one way or another for all the different characters, all the different storylines.
Apparently nobody's safe either. They're saying a lot of deaths. They're saying like we're killing off major characters. Yeah.
And I mean, this could just be me speaking, but I don't see the universe, anything existing really moving forward. There might be another Gen V season. I think they're going to have to reboot the whole.
It's tough.
They're going to have to start it like
really tough, because it's again like you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. Like you're going all out with all these guys. Maybe they do another Gen V thing. I'd be open to it. I liked both seasons of Gen V, but. Yeah, I think at least when it's on, and they probably won't do this because it's a cash cow, but just take a little break, take a couple years off that universe, and then come back and remind us, oh, this is the violent, gory, crazy, raunchy universe.
Yeah, I do think like they really did just make it just Homelander versus The Boys, and that at one point Vought felt like the villain. It feels like it just became Homelander at some point, which I do think a lot of the politics plays into that as well. Which again,
and I see like
you want to do.
I think the idea of that is cool, but the execution hasn't lived up to that idea in my mind. Like I think back to like something like the sequel trilogy where Snoke is the big guy, but then you have Kylo Ren kill him, and we're set up for the next movie he's the big bad guy. I was always intrigued by that idea. So I see why they would go, let's just make Homelander the big bad. He feels like the big bad already, but it's not quite the same without like the Vought Homelander together.
Yeah. Who was the big bad for the last Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker?
I think somehow Palpatine returned.
That's what I was hoping for. That's the line I was fishing for, Bob. That's why you're good. Sorry, the best of the biz.
And then the only other like big thing of news I wrote down is the Actor Awards happened, which used to be the SAG Awards, and I feel like a lot of people didn't even pay attention to them. I would like read the next morning who won, but it was never a thing that people were watching until Netflix bought it last year, and they renamed it this year called the Actor Awards. And I thought they put together a pretty good award show this year. We saw some surprising wins. Amy Madigan won for Weapons, which made the Oscars race kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Same thing with Michael B. Jordan winning for Sinners was, oh my God, is Timothée Chalamet not going to win the Oscar this year? Is even Leo not going to win? Michael B. Jordan comes in. But the highlight of the night, and Catherine Hahn won as well, which was, tears were streaming in that room. Seth Rogen gave a great speech. For me, seeing Harrison Ford go up there and get a Lifetime Achievement Award and give this absolute 10 out of 10 perfect speech that had every single actor in the room, no matter how famous or successful they are, locked in on every word. It gave me chills the whole time. I told you, the tears were just streaming down my face. I wasn't like... It was just, I couldn't help it. My eyes were sweating the entire time. I said it also, just seeing Harrison Ford cry. I've said it before. It's like seeing your dad cry, but worse, because it's seeing Han Solo and Indiana Jones cry. So everything about that, if you haven't seen that and you're listening to this podcast and you're a fan of Harrison Ford at all, I would say it's a must watch. Even Woody Harrelson's induction was so funny. And if the rumors are true, those two would be the dream blunt rotation. Apparently they've smoked everyone out of their smoking circles. But just such an awesome, awesome speech that he opened with. It's a bit strange to get a Lifetime Achievement Award only halfway through my career. It's like, oh, this guy's the best. He's the absolute best. So, like the strongest must watch I could put on Harrison Ford's speech, I would put it out there.
All caps. Yeah, it's using one of your must watches, this early in the year, but my boy stands by it. And he's just a man. I mean, what do you it's hard to live up to the name Harrison Ford. It's just such a strong name. And he did. He made it somehow better. It's almost impossible to do. He did it.
Indiana Jones and Han Solo, and if you took both of those characters out of his filmography, it'd still be one of the best of all time. His montage, the little highlight reel of his career, it made me go, oh, there's probably 20, 30 Harrison Ford movies I haven't seen. And I caught a lot of shit for that when I admitted that in a blog. People said, you call yourself a Harrison Ford fan and there's movies you haven't seen. He's been in 80 movies, guys. I've seen all the big ones. Trust me. I've seen, The Fugitive and Air Force One and Blade Runner and, of course, Star Wars and Indiana Jones. But Morning Glory and Mosquito Coast, I haven't seen that one. I know that's a huge one for early on in his career. I've seen Witness. That's a great one. I decided, though, based on that, for me, this is the year of Harrison. If you follow me on Letterboxd, I'm going to start watching as many Harrison Ford movies as I could watch this year. I want to watch them all by the end of the year.
I think I have a prediction.
Oh, what's the prediction?
This is a little bit of a strong prediction. I don't want to scare anyone off in the house, in the Casa de Fox. I feel like there's a chance Harrison Fox could be a name of one of your sons if you do decide to go down that road.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
No doubt. There wasn't a pause on you. Harrison Fox is strong.
It's an amazing name.
Harry? Call him Harry.
Harry Fox?
Sure?
Yeah, I'll pitch that. I'll pitch that to the powers that be.
And the powers that be I knew you were going to ask that. The first day.
Yeah.
I knew that was on the table.
I'm sure all of the Star Wars names are already crossed off a list somewhere. My brother kind of stole that from me, He didn't steal it from me. He's the one that was a Star Wars fan first. But he named his firstborn Luke and his daughter as a middle name Ray. It's like, if I do that, I'm kind of just ripping off my brother.
Promise me you don't just, if she says no to Harrison, you just don't scramble and go Yoda, Grogu, anything like
Yoda
that.
Fox, come on, Yoda Fox. And then I just have a few really random things, not big news items, but Project Hail Mary is getting next level reviews. The new Ryan Gosling movie. Andy Weir wrote the book. They're saying, and that's another Lord and Miller project who did Spider-Noir. They're saying this is going to carry forward to award season, which Justin Kroll said it could when we had him on and did a 2026 movie preview. This is at this point skyrocketed to my most anticipated movies.
This is tier probably 2 for me in terms of anticipation, and a lot of tier 1 is just tentpole franchise.
The Odyssey, Doomsday,
Doomsday, that kind of stuff. That's tier 2, but it was probably tier 3 before this, and then Justin kind of was and I was like, but I don't know if I can move it to that level because I've heard this hype before, and sometimes it does fall flat on its face. I also have to say, people that fell for the Jeopardy fucking ad.
What was that, Clem? Is it everyone's first day on the internet? It was a good promo, I thought, but people were like, I would be so mad if I was like, are you guys idiots?
The only way that is a reasonable reaction is if you just didn't know the movie Project Hail Mary exists.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Which I
guess there's probably a lot of people that thought that, right? It was just even the way that Ken Jennings was reading in the clip. I thought there was it was very tongue in cheek. IDK. Oh, actually, you know, because we would if you've never watched Jeopardy before, maybe you also believe that because they're sticklers for the rules on Jeopardy. They're not giving him a fucking abbreviation.
This is the thing, though. I'm also I'm also saying this from someone that not a movie insider, but we did interview a movie insider, so I knew all about that movie. Plus, longtime Jeopardy viewer. I know they would have had to go to the judges. Like you said, the voice tone would have changed. There would have been a brief pause. There would have been a whole lot of other stuff that went on, but it was because I'm here ready to blog. I'm like, wait, what's going on? I'm with this Jeopardy thing. I'm ready to blog. I'm like, people are retweeting this shit out of it. Hey, tip of the cap to the people that made that. They did a great job.
Good marketing.
You can look it up online honestly, if you haven't seen it.
They did that with the him throwing a Hail Mary through the big donut. That too, people were believing. I was like, guys, they're getting you with every kind of AI and fakery for this movie. It's people just don't know with this movie. It's weird.
We are so fucked. If people can't sniff this out, AI is just going to run wild on us. Doesn't even need to evolve from where it is right now, and we're cooked.
No. Yeah.
I said cook the other day to my daughter, And she starts laughing. She goes, "Oh my God, my dad just said cooked. Oh my God, he's so old." I'm like, what the fuck? So I can't say cooked anymore.
I feel like you've been using cooked at Barstool. I've been reading your blog since I was in high school. You've been using cooked forever.
That was a KFC thing. He used to always say cooked, and I kind of just like loved it. So I kind of used it on my own, it got in my head. And now I can't say it because a bunch of fucking YouTube losers said it. God damn it.
We actually did a stream last Friday now where we put all of our songs into Guitar Hero. Nick put them into Clone Hero, and we were trying to beat all of them. And it was fun. I'm not even trying to glaze Clem on the podcast right now. Someone put in the question. They said, "Who was your favorite person at Barstool before you started?" I said, "I ain't trying to glaze, but it was Clem." I said, "Dave is the easy answer. Everyone loved Dave." But I said, I was reading all the Clem nerd blogs. I was reading, if he's blogging about toys, if he's blogging about Star Wars, if he's blogging about nostalgic commercials. I was like, those were the blogs I was reading out loud to my lunch table. And now I'm hosting a podcast with the guy. Look at this.
I was the king of the lunch table back in the day. I also just realized it wasn't cooked. I said, "Hey,
chopped."
I said, "Lock in."
Oh, that's not as bad either.
That's not bad either, right? Like that's something that was like probably I'd even say as a kid, but like my fucking parents probably said it. Like, "Hey,
you're not hitting a skibbity in front of her. You're not hitting a 6'7",
Oh, tune Sahara. I'm not dropping brain rots on these kids.
That one I don't even know.
You don't even know that one. Yeah, Bob. No. That is some fucked up shit. I'm talking admin abuse. We're talking skibbity dropping skibbity on them. Oh, we live in the dumbest times on the planet. Hey Bob, you're my favorite too. So how about that? Obviously, I couldn't say I read you on Barstool before I got here, but you're my favorite.
Speaking of wild times and just idiots in general, I wanted to also give everyone the recommendation to watch Neighbors on HBO Max. Have you heard or seen this show, Neighbors? It's brand new. There was a movie called Neighbors with Seth Rogen.
I actually saw that I rewatched that somewhat recently.
Very funny. I like both of those movies. This is like a reality show. It's real people. It's produced by Josh Safdie, who did all, the Marty Supreme and Uncut Gems. They have found the most strange, eccentric, outrageous people in the country that have disputes with their next door neighbors. And they find these people, they're fighting on Facebook, they're fighting on YouTube, they're doing this, they're doing that. Every episode is different neighbors. You're never going back to the same people. There's 3 episodes right now. They're all half an hour. We were howling. We were in tears laughing at some of these people. It's edited brilliantly, like very comedic edits. Your jaw will be on the ground for all 3 episodes. I recommend everyone check this out as well.
So I just clicked on the link and I just saw the artwork where it's a literal like cartoon of someone like looking through their blinds or whatever at their neighbor, which I'm telling you, Bob, sight unseen, 100% in. This reminds me.
It's so good.
When HBO in particular does stuff like this, they do it great. Netflix does it great as well, and the other channels do. Who did the one about the police association where they would always like steal your money from
HBO? HBO, yeah.
And what was the guy who was?
I don't remember his name.
Bob, my fantasy baseball team was named after him like 2 years ago. I love that guy. He was my favorite guy in the world.
Clem, you're going to love this because like it's exactly that what you're talking about. Like meeting that eccentric guy being like, yes. I can't believe a person exists like this on earth. It's that every episode. And it's 10 of those every episode where you're just like, wait, what? This guy and that guy? I promise you'll love this. It's hysterical. Also, I forgot to mention when we were talking about the Paramount thing, we're back on HBO Max name change watch.
Oh yeah, I know. I can't believe
they said they're combining Paramount Plus and HBO Max again, so we're back on watch for them to change that name.
Oh my God, it was like HB Mount or Paramax.
They just need to do the thing where Hulu is inside Disney Plus. Just put Paramount inside HBO Max, right? Or the opposite. I think HBO Max should be the one that you go on to find the Paramount stuff.
Yes, HBO Mount, I think you have to lead with HBO. The logo could be the HBO, and then in the O is the Paramount Mountains. Yes. Is that what you're saying? That I am 100% in for. By the way, Telemarketers was the show. Patrick J. Pespas was the guy. And I feel like this is the same vein, which you sounds like, yes.
100% is.
And I don't want to get called out and put on this call list. I feel like our boy Bosco might be in an episode.
He was the first one to recommend it to me in the office. He's like, you got to watch this show, Neighbors. And I hadn't really heard of it. Then I heard Roan talking about it. And I was like, all right, everyone's talking about this. I got to catch up. And it was just, it lived up to all the hype. It was outrageous.
Bosco legitimately had his neighborhood dirty laundry get aired out on the Barstool airwaves.
Oh, yeah.
With Facebook, like proof included.
He tells me stories all the time from Staten Island where I'm like, we should just have a Bosco reality show. He's the most interesting man we got.
He truly is. And I always tell him, I'm like, this is coming from a place of love. Like the way this crazy stuff you do, think and say, and the way you scream, there is no... It just hits the dopamine spot. It's elite. Yeah. It's 10 out of 10. There's a reason why Dan and Dave love pulling it at him because they know good content and everything in that man's crazy world. When he's not even trying, is 10 out of 10. It's crazy. I'm jealous. I wish he's our Patrick Chapespas. I love him.
And then the only other note I had, not really news, but I really liked Ted season 1 on Peacock, and season 2 came out today. So I'm excited to dive into that.
So I saw season 2 was coming out, and I honestly said to myself, I go, I hope this is good for Bob's sake, because you never know a show like that going into a season 2. And I feel like a comedy.
I've seen good reviews so far. That people, whoever got screeners, put out pretty good reviews.
Okay, I was going to ask this question, but it almost would seem disrespectful to you because of the whole thing with Road Trip where you never saw it. I was going to ask if you've ever seen The Hangover. You've definitely seen The Hangover, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, The Hangover and Step Brothers are like, in my opinion, the two funniest comedies of my lifetime. Like for me, I'm sure that's how people talk about Wedding Crashers and the previous generation, or way back Animal House or whatever. Like Step Brothers in theaters, maybe the hardest I ever laughed. And then I didn't see The Hangover in theaters because I think it came out the next year. My mom was traumatized from taking me to Step Brothers. That was when she told me, leaving the theater, she said, put your hood up. They're going to call Dyfus on me. The ball sack on the drum. She couldn't believe that. So they did not let me go to see The Hangover, but everyone at school was talking about it. So when it came out on Redbox, I remember it was like family movie night. We'll let you watch this. And I was just absolutely like in tears the entire movie. Went to Vegas for the first time a few months later, went up to the counter at Caesar's Palace. I asked her if it was the real Caesar's. Like I was Alan for Halloween in 7th grade. I won I didn't. I had the shirt, which wasn't as good, but I, put the pillow in my shirt, the beard, the sunglasses, and then I won 2nd place in the costume contest that year.
Wow.
And then the next year I was like, I'll do a movie again. And I was Kick-Ass, and nobody knew who Kick-Ass was.
Oh yeah. Kick-Ass is.
I was like, it's perfect. I'm nerdy. It's, he's the nerdy superhero.
I asked because I feel like Ted beckons back to those old comedy days, right?
Yeah.
When you did have the movie, obviously, Ted. And I rewatched Hangover to be like, because again, as someone that was like in his 20s when it came out, that was like felt like the biggest movie in the planet. And like you said, the amount of just nonsensical idiocy. I mean, I was during bachelor party phase of my life too. So everyone's doing all the lines. We're all going to the fucking top
the
of
Rob Riggle scene,
suites, thinking we're
the taser scene with Rob Riggle
in the face.
Come on.
In the face. I rewatched it. I was like, I just have to make sure this is held up because in my head, and let me tell you, 10 out of 10 holds up. I have the DVD here. I was able to watch it. I think you have to rent it though to watch it these days.
It's not streaming.
So fuck this world we live in.
Yeah.
Keep your physical media, folks. Keep your physical media.
The line in The Hangover where he's like, I gave my grandmother's Holocaust ring away, and Alan hits him with, I didn't know they gave out rings at the Holocaust. Just every time that has me in tears. I liked The Hangover so much that I went to see The Hangover 2, and I was still pretty young when that came out, so I didn't really care that it was the same movie again. I thought that was very funny. And then one of the most embarrassing things I've ever admitted, and I think I have said it on the podcast before, but I'll admit it again. The Hangover 3 has that scene at the very end where it's them walking down the hall and it flashes back to them in the first movie walking down the hall. And a little like freshman year, Robbie Fox in the theaters was crying. I cried.
That's our boy. He wears his heart on his sleeve. That's why we love him. He gets pumped up over any kind of like content that he loves.
Yeah. I remember leaving the theater and being like, I grew up with this franchise.
Couldn't see the first one because Mama Fox, and by the third one, you're watching it on the big screen and crying over it. Oh my god, that's so incredible.
All right, let's end this podcast before I admit anything else embarrassing.
Let me just say this: when they go to the back to the camera and rewatch the scene as Flo Rida plays, like relive the night, it's one of the greatest ending scenes.
Yes.
in the history of cinema.
All the pictures laying over
one.
and everything,
Yeah.
like them in the fountain and everything. Honestly, all of the songs from that movie remind me of that movie now.
The movie.
Every single song from that movie. I hear a Lil Jon, and I'm fucking in The Hangover. Mike Tyson in that. We didn't even mention fucking Mike Tyson, the whole song about the tiger. The fucking glance that Zach Galifianakis gives the tiger when he's pissing. He glances at it and keeps pissing.
You have to rewatch it because you forget that how they pieced the night together because they don't remember anything. And when you relive it for the first time again after a long time between rewatches, I was like, oh, I'm very happy. So that's our recommendation for the weekend. Well, I guess we'll say
definitely
rewatch for everyone out there.
Oh, it's so good. It holds up so well. Yeah, definitely.
What a story. Mama Fox made a good call too, because that was much worse to watch in the theater with your mom.
Yes. Agreed.
Ever could have
I was grateful, especially as an adult looking back. Grateful. Mama Fox was making the right moves. All right. Thank you for listening. We will be back next week and we'll see you then.